Hello and welcome to the September issue of the Flatcar Container Linux Developer Sync. In the Developer Sync, we review the project status, we look at ongoing tasks, we check up the roadmap, and we talk about issues and PRs and pressing bugs that you might want to address. And we will have the release planning later on, should Cyan, our release engineer, find time to join. Welcome, everybody. We have two new folks joining today. Oh, before we start, Flatcar is a CNCF project, and as such, we adhere to the CNCF Code of Conduct, which basically means be nice to each other. Treat others just like you yourself want to be treated. And if you find someone talking without end and you want to say something yourself, please use the raise hand feature. We will make sure that you get your time. All right, we have two new folks joining today. It's amazing to see you today. At the beginning of these meetings, for new folks, we usually have a little bit of an intro round. Mantika, would you please give us the favor and introduce yourself? As is tradition in these meetings, you are muted. Sorry.
Hi, this is Smritika, and I'm coming from India. Currently, I'm a third year student pursuing computer science and engineering. I got to know about Flatcar because of India Force 2025. That was my first time attending a Force event, and I was curious to know about all the open source projects, and that's how I visited Cyan. He got a booth over that India Force event. So I went to him and asked him about Flatcar and the way he told me how Flatcar works and how it is used in production really inspired me. So I thought of joining the Flatcar community in Slack. Thank you.
Thank you, Mantika. That's awesome. We're always very eager to have new contributors, and we'll help you along as we go. Please make use of us and reach out to us if you run into any frictions. Christian, how about you?
Yeah, hello together. I'm Christian. I'm working with a bunch of Flatcar servers on bare metal, and I currently have two issues and an open pull request. So maybe at some point this will come up, or I have a chance to talk about that to get more information how to proceed.
This is awesome. You came to the right place. We're gonna bring them up.
Perfect.
All right, I'll share the agenda real quick. So for these meetings, we maintain an agenda discussion in the Flatcar repository. So this is where you add comments for future meetings if you want to bring up certain items, or you just join and bring them up. That's fine as well. Okay. Screen sharing. Here we go. All right. We finished our introduction round, our welcome round. Heading over to the news and announcement section, we have a slightly malformatted warning here, probably copy-paste thing. So what this actually says is we ended support for cgroups v1 in stable in May this year. There was a transition period of multiple years where we're supporting cgroups v1 in backwards compatibility mode. However, the systemd version we published with the stable release 42.30.0 doesn't support cgroups v1 anymore at all. And if upstream doesn't support it anymore, we can't really guarantee continued support. So that is why we stopped supporting. Now, Flatcar supports in-place updates, and in order to save and secure your workloads and not make them break suddenly with the new update, if you're using cgroups v1 compatibility mode, this upgrade will straight out fail. So your nodes will just fail to take the upgrade. You will stay on the old version, nothing will break, and you will have time to transition. If you need more time to transition your workloads to cgroups v2, please switch to the current LTS release channel. LTS will continue support for cgroups v1 until early 2026, so you have a little more headroom to migrate your workloads. Erwin, do you want to say something to the breaking changes in Nebraska, which are unfortunately missing from the agenda?
Yeah, so I'm not sure if I'm audible.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. So Nebraska, the next version of Nebraska is going to come with some breaking changes as the OpenID Connect layer of it was refactored. Now it has transitioned, or it's been in the refactoring to transition from the backend having a state, the backend being stateful about the authentication, to have only the front end managing the authentication with the traditional SPA authentication flow. So with this refactoring, all the Nebraska everyone who hosts Nebraska will have to tweak some flags and also to switch to this SPA flow in their authentication providers, and basically that's something that will needed to be performed once this new version gets deployed. Yeah, I prepared a migration guide. Also have updated the documentations. So if that's not enough, I'm still available in Matrix to answer any of your questions or concerns, or if you encounter some problems, I will want to help you work through those issues with you.
That looks very good. I think in particular the migration guide is super helpful. Thank you, Irvin. All right. Yeah, let's go through the regular items. There isn't that much in terms of updates. So you have a roadmap board, but there wasn't much movement on the roadmap because everybody basically was on vacation and we're only slowly coming back. So these are the regular items, recurring items almost. The secure boot workstream's almost done. We're pending CNCF support for actually getting a secure official secure key, secure certificate. That's not on us, but we're continuing the discussion. Full alignment with Gentoo is a continued work, and it's basically guaranteed that all portage stable part of the Flatcar e-builds is always up to date with Gentoo. Full disk encryption with crypt setup and TPM is part of the secure boot work stream and process. I see Adrian hasn't joined, so I don't think there are any updates. Composable image is a work in progress. We're currently still using a custom overlay for ETC, and we're investigating using convexts. And the graduation, the CNCF graduation is something that Jan would drive, and I see he's not here as well. We completed all of the checklists of the incubation onboarding, so we're good with that. And we got rubber stamp basically of being fully onboarded. And now there are a number of other requirements which we're iterating on. All right. As I said, not much movement in the roadmap, but yeah, we're gonna pick up some steam in the next months. Sysex, there's nothing new to report, so I won't open the tracking board. TPM and Trusted Boot, I just covered. That is mainly on Cyan, who didn't join. So I think there's some automation work to do, but these are minor items. We're mostly waiting for the CNCF to request this official certificate for us. CNCF incubation process, there has been I think some final items were resolved with the migration of the domains, and they're in CNCF stewardship now. And there are a few smaller items that we're currently working on. Nothing really jumps out in particular. Infrastructure, there's an update actually to the infrastructure process, and that will be on Mathieu, who's out on vacation. And that is, we finally got access to the Akamai infrastructure. So Akamai will sponsor Flatcar in most of our infrastructure needs through the CNCF, and there was kind of a lengthy process on getting access to these resources, and it seems that everything is confirmed now and we can start using it. So I would expect some movement in the infrastructure later on. Background here is Equinix Metal is shutting down. They're moving to private data centers. They're not offering cloud services anymore. And we were originally sponsored by Equinix Metal, so we're moving away to Akamai, who will sponsor us in the future. Nebraska status, Irvin, is there anything else to call out except for the break?
Yeah. So I can have a few words about feature development. My focus was on implementing this new feature, which is called multi-step upgrade for Nebraska. So in the future, Nebraska can coordinate package updates where there would be prerequisites for packages. So the prerequisite gets installed first, and the client could upgrade to the target only afterwards. Yeah, so this feature is under review and testing. Kai is helping with that. Chui also has provided some inputs. Besides that, there are some minor regular package updates for Nebraska that are going to be released together with the OIDC refactoring. Yeah, that's mainly it.
Awesome. Yeah, really looking forward to the multi-step update. That will give us a little more wiggle room on the operating system side, on the features that we introduced to the OS image and the update process. So that's cool. Okay. Before we go to open mic time and Christian can bring forward the item he joined for, does anyone else have anything they want to call out or talk about in our regular tactical work?
Just want to shout out for Kai. Thanks for doing the boot stuff. It's looking great, at least from what I saw on the Raspberry Pi.
Nice. Kai, you want to give a quick overview of
maybe. Yeah, I just wanted to say maybe a short summary. So yeah, we had this issue of a full boot partition, or like almost full boot partition, and we always kind of mitigated it being too full since many years, and it always meant like we had to move things out of the init or be like more careful when enabling certain kernel configs. And yeah, so we in the past had different ideas on what to do, and Joey also had driven this area for the year, I would say, as far as I understood, with different ideas. And the latest one was to use a minimal init that's very focused on what it does, and that's what I implemented now. It only cares about finding the /user partition, and from then on, we switch to the like regular init that we have that does the networking and ignition and so on. And then, yeah, we switch to the real system as usual after ignition and so on was done. And yeah, so that means we have size savings now on the boot partition because our init.ide is much smaller, and that's still a development branch and not yet merged. But yeah, I hope it can be merged soon. And then yeah, it will be really interesting to see how the alpha works out in all these different hardware setups that people are using. And so if you are running alpha, then good. If not, then maybe you should consider to do this to give early feedback on whether it works.
All right. Yeah, that's deeply involved, but also very important work. So great to see that coming to a mergeable state. And we have 2 Kais.
Okay, that
Yeah,
was crashing.
I thought he cut out mid-sentence there.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I think I'm also done. So thanks, Julie, for driving this yeah, explorations.
Sadly, we saw what happens when it breaks, because unfortunately for the Raspberry Pi, the additional firmware for that meant that it was already broken. It pushed us over the edge. So if you try and upgrade that now, it doesn't actually work, but there is a workaround.
Nice. All right. I stop sharing my screen and I'll give the mic to Christian.
Thanks. Yeah, a while ago, I made a bug report about crashing servers, which led me to another bug with the beta release, where the kernel 6.12 has problems with JVM. I have started a discussion in Matrix, and later on, someone from your side already made a merge request, and I created a second one because something was missing. My biggest question here is, how do pipelines work for pull requests for contributors? Because I guess someone from your side has to approve them once or something like that.
I can do it right now. I was slightly unsure with this one because I thought Yepio there, Jeremy, would come back with a comment, but no, I mean, I don't see any issue with this one, especially if it doesn't make any big difference to the size. I don't know if you had any thoughts, Thilo, being C Group's V1 expert, but I think it's okay.
Let me see.
So I've pasted it into the chat here. The problem is that this OpenJDK tests for all C group controllers, and there is an issue open at OpenJDK, or already solved, which is called CPU set controller is required for no good reason. So they knew it wasn't the right thing to do, but until it will be fixed in all the Java versions, backported and rolled out by every user, it probably will take years. So at least for now, I guess it would be better to enable the old controller again.
I'm assuming this doesn't enable the whole of C Group's V1, and it's just like a compatibility option.
Correct.
Okay, that sounds fine. So yeah, I've kicked that off now.
So in my output, it also says it detected C Groups V2. And this is what we want, I guess. Somebody already started it a few days ago before I pushed another commit, a cleanup, and there the Cola tests were failing. And I'm not sure why. I don't expect them to be my fault based on the change I did, but I also had no idea what to do.
It depends on which tests are failing. If I recall correctly, not all of the Cola tests run reliable on PRs that come from forks. I'm not sure if we fixed that yet. I remember we would at least want to detect if it is a fork and then exclude those tests, but I'm not sure what the status of that. In any case, we would see from the tests that are actually failing if it's because it's a fork or not. So that's not a problem. maintainers can basically identify that by just reading the test report. But all the other Cola tests should succeed. So we'll see.
Okay. So you guys also check from time to time the pull requests that fail.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. If it's
Yeah,
if it's an active pull request, then if discussion is ongoing there, yeah, absolutely, we'll check it.
Good, perfect. Then thank you very much for that one. And then the second one, which I actually started looking into Flatcar beta, is that we sometimes have crashing servers with kernel panic. And basically, I've tried the newest beta and we still have crashes and they are not reproducible. And I have no good idea where to look or proceed. At the moment, only in our integration stage, the servers crash, but I fear that this is some specific workload, specific actions going on, but we provide the cluster for many teams. So it's impossible to figure out, at least for us at the moment, who or what might cause it.
Is that, no, that was someone else. So someone started a discussion, not a bug, on beta 437210 on a Dell Precision 3420, which supposedly hangs on boot. But that sounds unrelated.
Not from us.
So in this case, if you can scrape any debug information, for instance, the kernel stack trace from either serial port or just as a screenshot or a snapshot from the video out, that would be immensely helpful.
We have the pstore crash done.
Oh, perfect.
It's in the bug report. The question is just what could even be next steps. I'm not sure if such an output is enough to do something meaningful. Would it help to have more of those outputs whenever they occur? Yeah.
It's a tricky one. I'm looking and it's not an obvious one. It's like it's a very low level, whatever it is.
Yep, that's also our problem. I mean, I can look at that and understand some parts of that. The biggest challenge is that different applications are the causing applications. So in the last one, I no longer remember what it was. So a colleague of mine created the issue and posted it, but it's always different.
So to be clear, are you seeing this on different hardware?
Different nodes. It's the same hardware generation, or I'm not sure about the generation, but they are all Dell PowerEdge R640.
Right.
With older firmware, to be fair, it also happened in older Flatcar versions already, just not that often. I guess we just only noticed because they became more prominent and hit nodes that didn't recover that well, or the workloads didn't recover that well. So now it became a problem for us.
How often would you say it happens? Or
once to 5 times a week.
Okay. Is it like, does it happen only under load, or are they just always under load anyway?
And there's always a lot going on.
Okay.
Sometimes I have the feeling it happens more often when we evict other nodes. So there will be a lot of movement in the cluster because the nodes are fairly big. They have 128 cores, 512 gig memory. So we're running way over 100 pods on them. So it's hard to track down a single causing application or something. But sometimes it also happens or seems to happen when nothing specific is going on. But it's a big cluster, there's always something going on. Like cron jobs that run every minute. So basically at every point in time, something can spawn on that node or being shut down or whatever.
You'd think this might happen on other distros, but I guess that's hard to test. I used to have access to this kind of hardware, but sadly not anymore.
Maybe it's also interesting to test with an older kernel. Or to
How
like
would I
make a
usually do that?
dev, like an older alpha release. Or we could maybe make a dev image with a like normal stable kernel 6.17 or is soon there, and check whether this is actually fixed upstream already and just needs a backport.
Yeah.
I'm happy to test that.
Yeah. Unfortunately, none of us are quite, this level of kernel engineers. We'll do some things, but this might be a bit beyond us. So it would be just a case of trying to narrow it down and see whether it's fixed already. But yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, there was a case where dissecting was done, right? And that we actually could find the problematic commit. So one of the maintainers did this, but yeah, it's really if it's not really reliably reproducible, then I think it's not easy to do this, and we should probably just try to check whether this is still an issue on really new kernels.
None of you happen to have a Dell PowerEdge sitting in your back room there?
There's one other thing we could do intermediately to get a little bit more telemetry. So there's this tool that we ship in Flatcar called Mayday, and it's not the most modern of tools, but it can collect system logs for you, demessage, pstore, and all of those things, and do something with it given certain circumstances. And that might reveal some more debugging information. At least you will get way more thorough debugging information than what you're getting right now. I posted the link in the chat. It's in the Flatcar org GitHub repo, and the project's called Mayday. And yeah, we ship it, so it's part of Flatcar. You can just start using it by giving it an appropriate configuration, and then it'll do its job. And then, of course, that telemetry goes to you, right? It doesn't go to us. So probably should make this make this clear, because we don't pull any telemetry from any nodes.
Yeah, we are air-gapped, so wouldn't happen anyway.
Awesome. All right. We have Cyan joining. That's amazing. Cyan, should I go through the release planning with you?
Sure.
Let me share screen. All right. Let's go.
Yeah, so we recently shipped a release I guess mid of this month, and then we will be having a release mid next month, and also it would be like a major alpha beta and a maintenance stable, and we would soon get a major stable again. Yeah. Changes wise, I think it would be mostly carrying the package updates and the security fixes. There has been a couple going on in the last few weeks. I'll also try to merge the system DPR. It's long pending, but the test was looking good. So maybe we'll have the new system D in the next release. And yeah, that's mostly it. Chui, Kai, Erwin, so do you have anything to add?
No.
Okay.
Nothing from me.
Yeah, I think that would be it.
Awesome. Looking at the timeline, one second. We actually have the community call next month before the release goes out. So we have another meeting if there should be any late updates to the new release. Yeah, I was actually scratching my head why we're not going stable with the new major release yet. But given kind of the feedback we're getting for kernel 6.12, both here as well as on the discussion I mentioned, that raises a boot freeze of that kernel in beta, I think it's safe to just be a little slower with migrating that to stable. So that's it. And also great news for the new systemd release for the new alpha. Looking forward to that.
Yes, and maybe last thing, not related to release, but 26 we'll have again the maintenance mode. So feel free to join in. I will create the agenda item today, so and add to calendar so that you folks can join in on Friday. Yeah.
That's a good call out. Yeah, we have our next maintenance mode on Friday, which is basically something like a mini hackathon. We'll be on this bridge, we'll chat a lot, and we'll look into issues and try to fix stuff. Martika, that would be a great opportunity to jump in and work a little with the team if you don't have any plans for Friday.
Yeah, sure. So what's that event about and where can I learn about it?
Cyan, do we have a discussion yet?
No, I'll. Martika, are you there on the matrix yet?
I'm not in the matrix, but I will join the.
Sure. So once you join, you can. I'll drop you a message with the discussion so that you are updated. I'll create,
Oh,
or you can keep a lookout on the discussion page. It should be up in like half an hour. I'll just create it after this meeting.
oh, okay, okay.
You are on Slack though, right? Because we announced this on
Yeah, yeah. I'm on Slack. Yeah.
Perfect.
Great. I'll post it there.
Nice. All right. That pretty much concludes our developer swing for today. Is there anything else any one of you want to bubble up before we call it a day? Calling once, calling twice. Then thank you everybody for joining. Have a great time. See you at the maintenance mode on Friday, which will be an all-day call on this bridge, or else to the community call early October.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you.